In an early part of my ministry, while but a lad, I was seized with an intense desire to hear Mr. John Angel James, and though my finances were somewhat meagre, I performed a pilgrimage to Birmingham solely with that object in view. I heard him deliver a week evening lecture in his large vestry on that precious text, "Ye are complete in him." The savour of that very sweet discourse abides with me to this day, and I shall never read the passage without associating therewith the quiet but earnest utterances of that eminent man of God. Years afterwards, on being in Mr. James's company, I told him that I went all the way from Cambridge to Birmingham to hear him preach. On my mentioning the text, he replied, "Ah, that was a Calvinistic sermon. You would enjoy that, but you would not get on with me always." I was glad also to have the opportunity of thanking him for that precious book of his, The Anxious Inquirer, which has been the means of bringing so many sinners to the Saviour, and which I had found exceedingly helpful when I was seeking the Lord. A critical juncture in the young preacher's history. Cambridge, May the 15th, 51. My dear Father, my choice of return home is easily made. I hope very much you will be so kind as to let me go to the exhibition. Mr. C., who was at Mr. Lewis's, has just called to see me. I'm going to his house to tea. He lodges with Mr. R. I guess I feel no mercy for him. I mean, Mr. R. A cap and gown are poor things to sell one's principles for. Not written to Mr. Leeding. Where is Mr. Walker? I cannot write, for I know nothing of his whereabouts. We have no minister yet. We have had some excellent supplies. I am very comfortable, and I may say happy. Were it not for my vile heart, I might rejoice. I am the least of God's people. I am sure I am the worst, but yet I am one. I believe in Jesus and trust in him. In this I take is the evidence of life. I can fall into his arms, though I cannot rest on my own merits, for I have none. Jesus, and Jesus alone, is my defense. I know you pray for me. I think I have felt the answer to your earnest entreaties. Sometimes I pour my heart out sweetly, freely. At another time, I can hardly bring up a petition. What a contrast, mixture, paradox I am. I hope you and dear mother are well. Love to all. Your affectionate son, Charles. The sentence in the previous letter, "You have not written to Mr. Leeding," implies that an important communication from Mr. John Spurgeon was anxiously awaited at Cambridge by both tutor and pupil. When it arrived, Mr. Leeding wrote the following reply, which was the means of retaining C.H.Spurgeon at Cambridge, and so indirectly affected the whole of his future life. Union Road, Cambridge, June the 11th, 1851. My dear Sir, I hasten to reply to your note, which I should have been glad to have received earlier. I did not expect to part with Charles before the end of the week, but a few days are of little consequence, and you may rest assured of his leaving Cambridge by the first train on Monday next. As I conceive you have written with candour, I shall think myself criminal if I do not reply in the same spirit upon the subject of your son's future career. I have been thankful unceasingly for that merciful providential arrangement that first brought him under my roof, as well for the assistance he renders me. As for the wholesome influence of his piety and general character, it will be a severe blow to me to lose him, on the latter account especially. I will gladly give him £5 per half year for the next 2 half years, when he shall have a fair addition in proportion to the increase of the school. That increase is slow at present, but I have still good hope of all the success I desire. I have had most malignant foes to contend with, but their violence has fallen on their own heads. With regards to Charles' improvement, I can speak with confidence as to those points which are directed to his future life as a minister or a teacher. He has read a great deal, and has made excellent progress in his facility in reading Latin authors. He has done well in Greek, but he had much more to do in that department, and appeared to have done nothing of service in that since he left Mr. Lewis's. You may rely on my word as a Christian man that he is in the clear path of mental improvement and eminence. I'm positive he is in as fair a way of preparation for the ministry as he would be were he in a college with that view. You may make up your minds that he is safe for the ministry, and in a very few years. He has first-rate abilities, a head adequate to the investigation of the deepest points, accompanied with a fluency of utterance. He is considered a most valuable help in the Sabbath school, and is treated with the greatest kindness by one gentleman connected with it, who often expresses the highest esteem for him, and indeed makes him his most intimate friend. That gentleman is a man of sound judgment and genuine piety in affluent circumstances, and the father of a family. Whatever lack of honour Charles may experience in his own country, I can tell you, he is not without honour here. He has also regularly served at preaching stations connected with our church, and is universally acceptable. One of the lay preachers, in whom I place the greatest confidence, has expressed to me a high opinion of him, and has authorized me to say that he has no doubt at seasonable time the church will properly estimate his talents for the ministry. Add to this, but I judge this is sufficient to convince you that you will consult his interests by allowing him to remain here at least another year. I lay some claim to disinterestedness in this matter, if I considered his interest would be best served by his seeking for a larger salary elsewhere. I should feel it my duty to advise it. He might get a little more money, but he would have far less opportunity for self-improvement. The thought has several times occurred to me that, as he is young and has some years before him ere he could enter the ministry, he might be able to pass through the Cambridge University course. This would be of great advantage to him as a student, and a good recommendation to him. He might pursue the same work that I did, and pay his own expenses without costing you a shilling. If my school increases pretty well, it can be done. A year hence will be early enough to decide this. I am, as you must perceive, anxious to retain him, as much for his sake as for my own. But if you are desirous of more money than I offer for the next year, I must yield to the painful alternative of parting with him. At the same time, I am sure you will be taking a wrong step. Hoping yourself, Mrs. S., and your family are well, I remain, dear sir, yours most faithfully, E. S. Leeding.